All right, guys, welcome to part four. Man, this is the last training lesson that is bringing you out of the training position. I know this has been an experience for you. It's been a lot of work. You've been training, you've been learning on your tests, you've been going through these lessons, but guys, this portion is almost over. Now that you are at the end and you're waiting on your license and you're waiting to get ready to start writing business yourself, I just wanted to go over a little bit of an overview, just a little bit on some of the things that you've been seeing your agent do, which is the need analysis and the e-app. These are two things that is going to be vitally important to you, because the need analysis is so important. The e-app is so important. Now, when you get to the rep position, we're going to teach you how to do this on a computer. So you can be able to log it in, you're going to be able to do some of this stuff. But right now, let's just go through the paper stuff. So you've been in training for a while. I'm just going to jump right into it, so we can just start talking about this, okay? All right, so part four is dealing with the e-app. The e-app is about gathering information. This is one of the most important things that you want to do for a family, because when you first sit down with them, you want to be able to assess how much insurance that family need. You don't want to over-insure them, nor do you want to under-insure them. And so our goal is to make sure that that family is in the position that they're getting enough insurance to take care of their needs. So that is the basis of the need analysis. And so you've seen this form because your agent, your trainer filled this out for you, but we're just going to go through and just reemphasize some of the things that they probably already talked about. And so what you want to do first is you want to fill out the person's name. We usually do the husband on the left and the wife on the right. If it's just a single person, of course, you would just use this, but just use one side. But you want to get their name, their date of birth, whether or not they are a smoker, their height and weight. And you want to do the same thing for the wife on their side, because we want to develop a need analysis for both, right? And the reason why I want to do that is just in case if one passes, that the other one is able to take care of the financial needs. If the husband passed, the wife need a certain amount of coverage to replace the husband's income and all of those type things. So this is what we're going to talk about first. Now, this first portion here that we're doing with the need analysis is just going to talk about the amount of coverage that they're going to need, whether it's a term or whether it's an IUL. They still need to fill out this information. Now, again, we are here to help people, right? And so even though we may be showing them this number, this may be a big number for them at this time, but we want to come back and make sure that we give them something that they're comfortable with and it meets their budget, because we don't want them to stretch themselves out. We are in the financial service business, right? Even though life benefits, living benefits is so important, and we believe it is a necessity for every person, but we want to make it to where that person can afford it, and we communicate to them, you can upgrade later, right? And so at the bare minimum, if you just want to get to the bare minimum, get at least $50,000 or $100,000 10-year term if you have to. Get a $10 or $15 a month policy for right now, just to cover yourself with living benefits. But that is what we're doing here is we want to let them know and give them the knowledge of what their family is going to need. And so for the husband, the same thing. When we get to the lines here, the husband is on the left and the wife is on the right. So the first thing we ask them is, how much debt do you have? Credit card debt, car loans, any type of loans that you have out, even student loans. How much is that debt? Now that number goes on both sides, right? Because if one pass away, we want them to be able to have enough insurance to pay off their debt, right? And then we also want to have the final expense. Final expense, of course, is the burial, is the funeral. And so that's normally about $15,000. Now some may say they want $20,000, some may say they want $10,000, but let them decide. Whatever they decide, how much they want to spend on their final expense, you can put that number there. Replacement of income. We want the spouse to have to be able to replace the other spouse's income. They don't have to downgrade. They don't have to live below their means if their spouse pass away. do here is we normally ask them to do about 5 years. So the way you fill this out is that if the husband make, say for instance, $100,000 a year, then he's going to need $500,000. In this case, John needed $375,000 to replace his income. So again, if he passes, his wife is going to have enough money to replace his income, so the household, the children, and all that would not have to downsize or miss a beat. Well, the same thing for the wife, if you can see here, she was making about $30,000 a year. So 5 times 30 is $150,000. And so we're building 2 different ledgers for each one because we want to get insurance based upon their needs. The next thing is to replace the rent. If they're renting, right, you want to do the rent times 5 years. Or if they have a mortgage, how much is it going to take to pay off the house? Because again, if the spouse dies, you want the house to be paid for, right? So here they have $250,000 left on their home. And the last thing is going to be for child. They have 2 children. They have 2 children. College right now is expensive, and you want to have enough money to be able to put your children through college, just in case, again, one of the spouses were to pass away. And then even with our case, even get sick, right? Because we have living benefits, right? So you would recommend it $100,000 per child. So if they have 3 children, 4 children, that would be $300,000 or $400,000. Now you add these up, and the husband need about $865,000. That's how much he need. The wife need about $640,000. Them a good picture of what they do for. Again, they may not be able to afford, but at least they know where they need to go. And the good thing about IULs and terms, you can buy as many, upgrade them. You can always, later they get a raise or they can work even and begin to get some money to make sure that their family is protected. So protecting the family piece, all right? Next is we look at how much money they're already paying, because now we want, as a financial service, we want to find money for them, right? He get an $865,000 life insurance policy. He probably said, man, I can't afford that. Well, what we do now is we go in and show them where they already have money and see can we find money that where it won't even touch their budget to be able to pay for the policy that we're offering. So give an example. If they're have any contribution to stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, the husband was putting in $50 a month into mutual funds. Do they already have IRA or 401k money they already spending for their retirement? The husband was putting away $150. The wife was putting away $100. So see, we're finding money. Do they have life insurance policies that they're already paying for? Group policies, we really don't mess with that much because we really can't compete with those. Those are ones that's really on their jobs and it's very low. But the problem is with that is when they leave their job, they lose their insurance. And so we want to point that out as well. But usually group insurance, we want to look for any terms that they're already paying on, premiums that they already have. So he have a $150 term or policy that he's whole life for him. And so for him, we already found $350 and $100 that they're already paying. So at this point, we want to talk to them about, say, listen, you can switch up, and maybe our illustration will say, we're going to illustrate with you not taking any more money. We're going to see what else would do for you. And so we'll do an illustration. You'll learn that at the rep position in the next class. But this just kind of give you a snapshot of the reason why we do the need analysis. And then the next point would be any accounting and savings. Now we're looking for money that we can transfer over, that they can maybe do a 1035 on, or they can maybe transfer over that they already have. Some people have 401ks that they had on a previous job and they still got that money there, but it would make more sense for them to put it into our IUL product, right? Why? Because it's tax-free, it's going to grow better, and it's going to give them living benefits, right? And so we want to look at that, say, hey, do you have any money in savings, money market accounts? As they had $15,000 in savings, both of them. Any RA, 401ks that you had. He had 26,000 old 401ks. She had 18,000. Any cash balances in life insurance policy. So that probably was a whole life. He had $10,000 cash balance. So now his monthly contribution again was $350. Hers was $100. But we have found what, $10, $36, $40, $51,000 that he can use to enhance his IUL. That can even go into paying premiums for a couple of years or however. That's our job. We go back and we go back and we get to the computer, we get to the illustration, we find out their wishes, their dreams, what they would like to do. This is what the need analysis does. And that way we can go back and make a plan that fits them. And so this is very important that you do this, whether you're doing a term, whether you're doing it for a brother or sister. If you know the people, it doesn't matter. Every person needs to know what amount of coverage they need. And they also need to know if they already have money out there that they're paying, money that they have that can go toward this awesome product that we're presenting to them. And so make sure guys, you get in the habit of doing this need analysis on each and every case. Now, let's talk very briefly about we're going to talk about didn't want to go there. We're going to talk about the e-app. All right, so the e-app is the next thing you do if they say, yes, I want to be a part of it. I want to be, I want to find out whether or not I'm insurable. I want to look at it and see, can I qualify? You have to, this is the key, guys. This is basically a summary or a snapshot of the e-app and all the information that you need. I would say this, guys, make sure you will save yourself a whole lot of pain and headache if you do not get all the information you can when you sit down with the client. Don't, if you at all possible, leave no blanks, because this information is what you're going to put into the computer to be able to run their policy. And if any information is missing on here, then you got to stop, you got to freeze the policy, you got to go back and call them and try to get them to give you social security numbers or bank account numbers and all that. And believe me, that's a much difficult process than when you have them there to make sure we get the information. And so this is a one-page. We have a two-page now. There's a little bit more space here. Got the information that really pertains to the e-app that we do now. But make sure when you sit down with this that you fill out all that information. And then once you do that, get them to sign the e-app. If they sign the e-app, then we can electronically sign their application when we're putting it in. So we already got a signature on the e-app. That's just like having an electronic signature, so we can do electronic signing. And again, you'll learn more about that at your rep position, right? So this is just the basic, guys, of understanding the paperwork side of what you're going to need as you go out and build your business. You're about to get your license. This is an exciting time for you now. I know you haven't seen any money coming in yet. You've been working, you've been doing your 6,000 points, but a whole new world of money is going to open up to you. Again, we get paid weekly. Once you start getting these policies closing, your money is going to start coming in weekly. But it's really important for you to get some of these foundational steps out the way, so it just won't cause you hang-ups in the long run. All right. Thank you guys so much once again. Congratulations. Congratulations. I mean it from my heart. I know this was a tough time. I know that you had a lot of things that we was asking of you in this session when you was going through your trainee position, but I'm telling you, it's going to be rewarding because now you are going to begin to see the money that we have been showing you. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Look forward to seeing you in the rep training. Get with the trainer. Thank you.